Hey everyone, welcome to this new video. Today I'm gonna show you how I make my thumbnails, such as these ones on screen right now. Today I'm gonna show you step by step how to make a thumbnail, and I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to drop a like, and let's start with the guide. So first things first, we gotta load up our DayZ, because we first have to make the screenshot in the DayZ editor, and then we can import it in Photoshop later on to tweak it and change it to whatever we like. So let me uncheck that. That's for offline mode. I only use offline mode if I want to showcase something with a character in cinematic, so I'm gonna turn that off. I used that before I used DayZ editor, but I found out how DayZ editor works right now for a bit. It's actually really easy once you get the swing of it. It can be hard in the beginning if you don't understand anything about it. I got two presets. Normally you only have one, but you can make two if you want to, but I have a preset that I always use for DayZ editor. As you can see, I have DayZ editor and DayZ editor loader. If you don't have that, you could go to Steam to your workshop and you can search for DayZ editor. There you go. You should download DayZ editor and also download DayZ editor loader. Apparently it's for experimental as well, so that's cool. If you want to do something in experimental, you probably have to download this, but if you click the plus icon, it downloads the mod. I'm sure a lot of people already know how that works, but if you don't, that's how you do it, and it will download it for you. And if you don't see it here, right, you by default you won't see it here, but if you search up for DayZ editor in the search bar, you can check them, the mods you need. I got a whole tutorial about how you can join certain servers and how mods and stuff works in the launcher. There's gonna be a card in the right top corner which will bring you there if you need to. But this is all the mods I use. A lot of admin things that makes it easier, I guess, to work with. You don't really need those. And some texture packs, of course, so you got some more clothing to choose from, custom backpacks. I have LED sliding overall, which is a really good one. It makes the sky and the colors more vibrant and more beautiful. I kind of like this, and as well with the sky mod. So once you have all the mods selected you want to have, and of course the map, like if it's a modded map, like let's say you want to make a thumbnail on Esseker, you have to check Esseker. By default, you have Livonia and Janaris already in your DayZ editor, so you don't have to check any mod because it's two of the default maps that you already have. If you have the DLC, of course, as well. Otherwise, you won't have Livonia. But you click on play, it will load DayZ for you. There you go, and if everything went right, you should have this screen. You can go to open editor, and there you have only two maps by default, of course. We're gonna go and make a thumbnail on Janaris. I'm actually making something for a live stream that is already been right now, but I'm gonna make a thumbnail with 2-3 characters in it, I think. I always try to have a rough idea. I want to have like a thumbnail where like it looks like a kind of hold up, like 2 or 3 geared guys aiming it at somebody and somebody raising his hands. I think that would be a cool idea. Thing is though, with DayZ editor, you can't always get what you want. There are some limits, but yeah, some simple things to know. WASD is moving the camera around. If you press space, you go into the camera mode, so you can move the camera. If you go out of space, you can move your mouse around. Then if you click middle mouse button and aim at the point you want to go to, it will TP you there. Let's say that hill over here, it will TP me over there. If you hold shift, you fly faster. If you hold alt, you fly slower. Q and Z are the buttons that will turn you up and down. If I press T and I have my cursor on, I can TP a player, like our standard player, for instance. If I press T right now, oh, it doesn't do it, but that's probably because I don't have a player now. But I'll show you that in a minute. M shows you the map, and this circle tells you where you are on the map. And to TP on the map, you need to click middle mouse button on the place you want to be at. You can change this camera speed if you go to editor preference to camera. You get some options here. You can change the tilt as well. On how you want it to be, of course. And you can press default as well if you screw it up, so it will take you back to the default settings. And you can change the movement speed of the camera here. You got some other stuff, but I don't really mess with that. It doesn't really matter that much. And if you go to view, you have even more options. Like you can change the FOV, the Gaussian blur, for instance, if you want to. You can change the blur from which certain distance stuff gets blurred, as you can see. Like exposure, sharpness. It's really good. Let me turn it back to default. I think this will do, actually. This will be pretty well. It's up here with the summer camps on the background. I like to have something in the background, at least. Just not trees. I do like this a lot. Yeah, if you click this arrow, it will show you a menu. This will have everything you can imagine in the list, like objects. Like a lot of people use DayZ editor as well to make stuff for the servers. I'm not very good at that. I think I can do that, but we're gonna focus on working on the character. One thing as well to notice, if you type something in here, it will also correspond in game. So if you type M here, for instance, it will show you the map. So just a heads up, if you are working with characters, try to unselect them before you do anything, because otherwise you'll probably mess that up or TP them somewhere else and stuff like that. But if you go to Survivor, we have all the Survivor characters that we have in DayZ, and that's mostly how I spawn in my characters. You can just click on the screen where you want to place an object. There you go. There you have the character. I always try to control it once, so I'm pretty certain it's in the game. Sometimes it glitches that it won't show you the inventory. Then you can just delete and spawn yourself in again. So we got a character here. If you click home, you go into character mode, in game mode, and if you go press home again, you go back into DayZ editor mode. Yeah, that's very helpful. In a second, I'll show you in a second why that's helpful. But let's dress our guy up here. If we select him and we go to editor, edit inventory, we can choose whatever we want him to wear, like hats, a backpack, or a vest. So let me see what would be cool. Mostly I try to choose vibrant colors as well, so it stands a bit more out with the background. And here you also see all your modded clothing in one of these lists, if everything went well, but it should load it in. I think something like this will work for the head. And then that's cool, the pitchfork. All right, now we got a character. If you press home again, you get out of it and into fly mode. Now I want to make this character in a certain pose, right? So we have to go back into home mode. The thing how it works, when you're in a pose and you press home, it will stop the character in that certain pose you want it to have it in. So for instance, I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna smash someone's head in with this baseball bat. We're gonna smash, press home. Okay, it's not always easy to time it in. Okay, it is there. It just doesn't look like it is, but it is. we go back, but try it again. That's more like it. I like this one more. Yeah, you can also always try something else. For now, we'll do that. Now we need 2 other characters, because I'm gonna play with 2 other guys. I don't know if they have a default character. I'm just gonna go for this one. And I want this one to have a shotty in his hand aiming, I think. So we're gonna do the same again. Edit inventory. Then we go back into our character, control it. I might want him to take a shotgun off his shoulder, like not really yet in his hands. I'm having it in slot 1 and I'm gonna press 1 and it's gonna take the gun out of my back, right? It's gonna make that animation and then I want to pause it at the right time. Where is it? Oh, I didn't do it. Okay, let's try it again. It's not perfectly timed, but I can press home again. And it would... Okay. It's quite quick, as you can see. It's not very easy to time this. I'm not very good at this either. You really gotta time this. What if I put it back on my back, but make it look like I... That might work, to be honest. Like, I'm holding it, kinda. I'm not aiming it yet. I think that's pretty cool. If you hold Alt and you move your mouse up and down, you can also change the elevation of your character. So I want to have this one a bit more on the ground because it just floated a bit. Sometimes you will find that will happen. I want to put him also behind me. Also, if you hold shift and you move your mouse around, it will also turn it around for you.
Nothing that can pull us under. You wanna take the pain away, but know that I was born as a fighter. We fade, but we're better than that. We're better than that. I know you know, so why are we holding on, holding on? Yeah, seems like we're back on stop but go. I go right and you go left before it turns to red. It's true. Yeah, I hope that we could work it out. We'll never be enough for you. No shed a tear or two for good. There are other ways and other reasons, but only one that cuts to pieces. So why we tryna hide from trust when we could just leave? We fade, but we're better than that. Yeah, we're better than that.
I think this will already work. Maybe a guy over here. Control. Let him raise his hands by pressing F5. This will work. And change the VOV or the tilt to make it a bit more dramatic. Maybe zoom even more out. You can change this up in the thumbnail, right? Yeah, I think this will work. You can press Y, space, and I use Control Print Screen, but you can use any snapping tool you want to. Just gonna time it right so that none of them is breathing. As you can see. I think I got it. Then we open up Photoshop and I make a new file. I make it in the size you need for a thumbnail. For a thumbnail, you need 920 by 1080 to get the best results. Let me change this to transparent. There we go. I use Ctrl T to select it and then I can move it as how I want it. I want it to be a bit more higher. There we go. Now I want to have the background less dark than the rest of this, which means I have to select all the characters. But let me change the brightness at first on how I want to have it. So if you go to adjustments and you click one of these, it will select a layer. And that will be on top of the layer that you're working on, I guess. Zoom a bit out with Control, Alt and scroll so I can see how it looks from afar, which is very important because you want it to pop from afar, right? It's a bit try and error with saturation and brightness. If I hold Alt and I press right button, I can make sure it only selects this layer. It's only linked on this layer now. And if I press Alt and click them again, I unselect it. Saturation a bit up. Yeah, that's not what... We don't want to look like an alien, right? I think it already looks pretty good, but I want this to stand more out than the background. I think I have to cut it out, make 2 layers of this, the background and the characters. So I use pen tool for that. I can just click the right button and it will make a pen. And if I click again, it will make another one. This way I can select everything I want to have. There we go. Now we have everything cut out. Now we only have our vibrant colors on here, which I think looks way better. Now we can do something with the background as well. I like to adjust that a bit as well, but that's a little bit bright. If you make a new layer underneath our characters, and we click the brush tool, and we have it on white. You can change the color by clicking on the square. It will bring this thing up. If we have it on white, we go behind our characters just a little bit like this. Make it a bit glow. And you can make it, if you turn the hardness down here, it will make that kind of glow effect. Doesn't really matter if it's too much. We can change that in a minute. And then we click here and we go to soft light and we zoom out for a bit if we can. That looks kind of cool. And now we can also sharpen our characters a bit more, which makes it really a change, I think. So if I select this layer, if you hold Alt and then you click on this, it will make a selection. Then you can go to the square. If you don't see the square, just click mouse button and click on the squared sharpen tool, and then you get this brush. If you click these 2 buttons I show you on screen now, you can make it bigger or minimize it. So we're gonna brightness our characters a bit. Not too much, because otherwise it's gonna get distortions. And to make it even stand more out, we can use a drop shadow by making a new layer underneath our white one. And the characters we don't want to expose to the drop shadow or inner shadow. Select our brush tool again, and I make it a bit big so that it gets a bit soft. And if we go around and then turn the opacity a bit more down. There we have it. That's the thumbnail. There you go. That's how I do it. I hope this guide was helpful. If it was, don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe. This was a step-for-step guide. I know it's a bit long, but I thought I should make an update, and some people requested me to make one as well. So here you go. I hope it helps. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!